If you're over 50 and job searching in 2026, the problem is not that your experience has no value. The problem is that the hiring system does not know how to read that value quickly. In this video, I will give you 7 practical strategies to make your experience easier to understand, easier to trust, and easier to hire. Keep the promise tight. This is not magic, but it is a better operating system for the current market. Okay, I'm Coach Theo, and this is your Encore Catalyst. Let's get started. Okay, let's jump right in. Career reinvention and job search after 50. I'm going to share with you 7 strategies that work in 2026. In fact, they will work 2026 and beyond. These are all practical strategies. There's no hype, there's no magical formula in terms of things will happen without you doing any work or anything of that nature. It's really going to be a system that if you execute against it and you're consistent, you will eventually drive the results that you're looking for. You will get more interviews, more credibility, and have more momentum. Okay, let's start. So let's just make one thing clear right up front, just so we understand. Context matters. The 2026 job search is not the old job search. Job search has changed quite a bit. And one of the few consistent things that still work with job search is that proper planning, executing against your plan, and having the patience to see it through, that's one of the things that will work. So let's just take a look at the numbers. 64%, this is according to AARP, 64% of workers age 50 plus reported seeing or experiencing age discrimination in the workplace in its 2026 age bias survey. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported long-term unemployment accounted for 27.3% of unemployed people in June of 2026. LinkedIn. LinkedIn reported that recruiters are rapidly increasing AI usage and that they're using it to find and look and screen people. So that's 93% of recruiters plan to increase AI use in 2026. 52%, this is LinkedIn again, 52% of global workers are looking for a new role in 2026. So these are 4 important factors that you want to keep in mind as you create and move forward in terms of your job search plan and your job search in terms of executing against it. So the point here is not fear. The point is that an older job seeker, a more experienced job seeker, needs a current strategy, not a 1990s or an early 2000s strategy. Right? That's what these numbers say, and that's what we're going to get into today because I'm going to help you with that. So let's take a look at the roadmap. Frame this as a system, not as isolated tips. A lot of people over 50 start with activity. They're applying everywhere, revising the resume repeatedly. They think there's some magic to the resume that they're missing out, or they're paying for help before the target is actually clear. There's nothing wrong with paying for help, but you need to be sure about what you're paying for and what you're aiming for. So this sequence starts with targeting. You pick a tight target, right? Know what you're going after. You want to translate your experience. This is number 2 of the 7 strategies. Number three of of the seven strategies, modernize assets. Make sure the things that you're going to send out and put in front of put a potential hiring authority, potential employers, etc., are modern and speak to the needs of the market and of the people that you're interviewing with. Build a referral lane. Make sure that the right people are thinking about you so when they do come across opportunities, you're top of mind. Prove that you have current skills. So you have to be honest with yourself. If you were doing something in particular for a while, and that particular thing is diminishing and diminishing and diminishing, well, being stubborn and saying you're not going to do anything new because that's what you've always done, that's not going to help you. So you really do want to audit yourself and be honest with yourself, and then you can upgrade your skills where necessary or if necessary. And use bridge roles. So we're going to talk about all of this. Bridge roles provide bridge income. So these can be extremely important if you're involved in a long job search. And then, of course, interview with evidence. We all have gone to interviews in the past. If you've been, I'm an older worker as well, right? So I'm an experienced person has been around for some time, and I was very early on in my career. I, of course, said I could do this, this, or this. Obviously, as I matured and progressed, both in my career and in job search, I was able to offer credible evidence of what I could do. Right? So this order helps reduce random effort. Sequence matters. Clarity first, volume second. Okay, so you want to pick a tighter target than I need a job. Right? The job market rewards clarity. If you say I can do many things, the employer hears uncertainty. They don't hear flexibility. So you want to create three lanes. Now, that doesn't mean broad experience is not valuable. It is valuable, but only after the potential employer understands where to place it. So let's take a look at the three lanes. The primary role you can do now, an adjacent role that uses your background, and a bridge role that creates income while searching. This way you have three options. You're not just pursuing something that could be difficult to pursue and may take a longer period of time than you were anticipating. So you want to identify 100 possible roles across various companies. Right? 12 to 15 target titles. Even though you're looking at 100 possible roles, they may be spread under different titles. So you want to make sure that you're looking at titles that will actually bring the roles that you're looking for to your attention. And then, of course, define the three search lanes. All of this allows the resume, the LinkedIn profile, the networking message, and interview stories to point in the same direction. This is how you stop looking overqualified and start looking like a possible solution for whatever the problem or problems that the potential employer has. Strategy number two, translate your experience into current business problems. All right? So experienced professionals who are older often have a huge advantage. They have solved real problems. You can't buy that in a classroom. Right? But the resume often describes history instead of relevance. So you want to replace things such as 25 plus years in operations with problems that you fix now. So you might say, I reduce delays, improve handoffs, and help teams execute under pressure. That says something very different than 25 plus years in operations. The 25 plus years in operations will help and give it context, but you want to actually say what it is that you've actually done that would be of interest to the potential employer. And then you want to provide proof. And proof could be you created a process that cut rework, saved time, or improved customer response. So even if you don't have some form of online portfolio to point to or something of that nature, describing how you came about with the preferred outcome in whatever situations you were in that had the impact on the company you were with, that will be the proof. Years of background, outcomes are evidence. Strategy three, modernize your resume and LinkedIn without hiding who you are. So sometimes workers who are experienced and who are older think they have to hide who they are. Well, uh, that sometimes might work, but the truth is you can't hide who you are forever. So modernization is not pretending to be younger. It is making your value easier for recruiters, hiring managers, and AI supported screening tools to find. So use current job titles, current tools, current language. Keep the resume focused on the last 10 to 15 years. That's okay, unless older roles are essential. That's the exception here, right? Unless older roles are essential. Show tools, discuss platforms, and current ways of working. That translates into you are current and ready to go, as opposed to you're someone that did something a particular way years ago and you're out of step. What you don't want to do is force every decade into the first page. People are still obsessed with this thing about like, I have to get everything onto one page. I try to tell clients, stop focusing on one page, focusing on making sure the one or more pages that you do have are delivering the marketing message that you need to deliver so you can get meetings and interviews. Also, don't use outdated phrases that make the profile feel static and out of touch. So the goal here is to make your profile easy to search, easy to scan, and easy to trust. So you're not looking to erase your background. You just want, but you just want to make it easy for the reader to work through the relevant chapters of your career. Build a referral lane, not just an application lane. This is strategy four. Job boards create volume, but referrals create context. Okay? So experienced professionals often underestimate the power of dormant contacts. They're dormant, not dead. So what you want to do is put together a process or a plan to reach out. I'll be talking more about this in the future. But if you're working with a job search coach or a career coach, you should speak to them about this and how you can do it as well. So you want to look at warm contacts, people who know your work. You want to reconnect 5 people per week, right? That's a modest goal, especially if you're in between positions. Target insiders, people close to the role. So people inside a company close to the role. Ask one insight, not a job. See, this is the key. If you ask everyone, do you have a job? Most of your answers will be no, or people will start to avoid you. But asking for an insight of some type is key, right? Because remember, everyone in the marketplace, well, not everyone, but most people understand they could be in the same position. So smart professionals do want to help the right people, but you can't expect them to go pursue a job in their company for you. That's your job. So you want to ask for the insight. Hiring managers. These are people with a problem. They wouldn't be looking to hire or they wouldn't be open to conversations that could lead to hiring someone if they didn't have a problem that hiring you or someone like you could solve. And follow up. Follow up appropriately. Once again, if you have a job search or career coach, work with them on proper follow up if you don't have a system already. And I'll be speaking more about this in the future as well in additional video lessons. So here's a simple outreach line. I'm focusing on roles where my experience in blank can help teams solve blank. Is there anyone you think I should learn from? So here's the key. You're not asking someone to put your application in or to push your resume forward. You're actually asking them for someone that you can speak with. And of course, you can ask if you can use their name or not. But you're not asking them to do the job for you. Next, strategy five. Prove current capability before they ask. So this is where AI and modern tools become an advantage instead of a threat. You do not need to become a technologist. You need enough proof that you can learn, adapt, and work with the tools of 2026. So employers want evidence of this. Not just that you've been in the workforce a long time. Right? So become AI aware of AI workflows. So you want to make sure that you start to do a little research on that if you're not sure what that is. This will help you show how you use AI responsibly to research, draft, analyze, or improve output. If possible, if it makes sense for what you are interviewing for, a one-page work sample. Create a sample plan, checklist, process map, dashboard, or analysis. Tool refresh. Add 1 to 2 current tools that match your target roles. Right? For example, you could have a 90-day plan, a process improvement checklist, a sample dashboard outline, a customer response template, or a one-page risk assessment. Proof reduces perceived risk. Strategy 6. Use bridge roles to protect income and confidence. So one of the biggest risks in a long search is loss of confidence. We're human beings, right? We're not robots. Right? So we don't want to lose our confidence because that will show through in meetings and interviews. So a bridge role is not a step down if it protects your momentum. A bridge role can protect income, structure, and emotional momentum. So contract or temporary roles of some type keep income coming in. So this is a good thing. Fractional roles or consulting roles where you can use senior expertise. So certainly if you were a senior executive, for argument's sake, you could be, as an example, CFO or COO or CTO for hire, or if you were a senior vice president in a particular role or a vice president, it all depends, managing director. You want to seek out fractional or consulting roles, and there are a number of high quality agencies that will help you do that. Doing project-based work. creates proof and contacts. Training friendly role, build a new lane here. So the right bridge helps you, keeps you connected to the market, helps your next story, provides income. The wrong bridge, right, that goes in the opposite direction. Drains energy, takes up your schedule, um, actually decreases learning, etc. So the bridge role filter, does it pay enough? Does it preserve energy? Does it build a better story? So avoid roles that drain you and do not improve your next move. Strategy 7, interviewing after 50 requires a shift, right? And as you can tell from the screen, do not defend your age. Demonstrate your value. That is the key. Do not over-explain career history. Anticipate the unspoken concerns and answer with evidence. Right? Show recent learning, show scope fit, show energy and realistic motivation. Show that you want to solve the kind of problem the employer actually has. Keep answers specific and current. Let's just look at some sample examples, excuse me. Will you adapt? Answer with evidence. Here's a recent tool or process I learned and how I used it. That answers the question, will you adapt? Are you too senior? Here's the level of scope I am targeting and why. See, notice you're not avoiding the question, you're coming right at it with a clear, direct answer. Will you stay? And here's the type of problem I want to keep solving. So you're answering the question, yes, I will stay, but you're explaining it from the perspective of the potential employers or the opportunities issue while they're talking to you in the first place. So execution. A job search can become emotionally chaotic at times. So a weekly rhythm creates structure. And whatever system you come up with only works if it is repeatable. You don't want to make this a full-time job every single day. You want to make it a targeted job, right? That requires steady execution. And you want to track three numbers: applications to well-targeted roles, relationship activity, and proof building activity. If the job search is not producing conversations, adjust the target and outreach. Do not simply increase application volume. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at Monday. This is a sample. Target roles with five tailored applications, right? Tuesday, reconnect with 5 warm contacts. Wednesday, build or improve 1 proof asset. Thursday, 2 informational or referral conversations. Friday, review results and adjust search lanes. Measure conversations, the fit, and callbacks, not just how many applications went out the door. Right? So you want to avoid these. This is what will keep someone who is over 50 stuck as a job seeker. Applying broadly with one generic resume. So you want to stop doing that. Explaining every decade of work history. Waiting until confidence returns before taking action. Ignoring AI and current tools. Treating networking as begging. overcorrecting by sounding junior, right? So you don't want to do these. You want to replace panic activity with structured proof and targeted relationships. So let's take a look at examples. These are composites. The point is to model the conversion from broad history to current value. Maria, 57, operations manager. Before, she was answering things in this way. I have 30 years in operations. After adjusting and working with a coach, she now answers, I help growing teams reduce delays, document processes, and stabilize handoffs. See the difference? The 30 years in operations is important, but it's the what you accomplished in those 30 years that is critical. And target lanes, operations coordinator, process improvement analyst, customer operations manager. David, 61, corporate trainer. Before, he was giving answers such as, I'm looking for something in training. After adjustment and modifying, his answers became much more specific and relevant. I help teams adopt new tools faster through practical training and manager-ready guides. His target lanes, enablement specialist, learning consultant, implementation trainer. Start with 4 focused weeks. All right, this is your 30-day plan. Week 1, pick 3 lanes, rewrite headlines, and build a target list. Week 2, update resume, refresh your LinkedIn, collect 5 proof stories. Week 3, reconnect with 15 people, apply to 10 strong fit roles, create 1 work sample. Week 4, practice interview answers, follow up, review what is producing conversations, meetings, and interviews for you. See, so here's the key. This works. It obviously is work, but it's not overwhelming work. It's more about focus, patience, and diligence. So the first goal is not a perfect job search. The first goal is a functioning system. Now let's take a look at free resources. I'm a big fan of free and budget friendly. So I'm going to recommend 3. Now, depending on the industry and the role and all of this, I have additional videos on getting paid to train and things of that nature. So I'm providing a lot of information on this, but for right here, it's just going to be very quick and to the point in terms of what this video is about. But take a look at the playlist that is connected to, and you will see that there's other information on it. Choose 1 resource this week based on your immediate need and do your homework on it. So here's a suggestion: the AARP Foundation and Back to Work for 50 plus. They have free workshops, practical job search guidance, and coaching support designed for workers over 50. Strong choice if you want age-relevant help and structure. Career One Stop, the U.S. Department of Labor resource with free skills, assessments, resume tools, career research, training searches, and job search support. In other words, do the things, they are going to do the things and provide insights into the things that you need. All right, as an older worker, and they're doing it from the perspective of the information they receive, because this is the ultimate receptor of information from the economy on labor, the U.S. Department of Labor. So this is a great resource to go and explore and pick the tools and absorb the information that will be relevant for you. AARP plus Indeed Career Hub, a practical place to find current job listings plus guidance and articles geared towards experienced workers and late career job seekers. So start with one resource, not all three. Use the one that solves your next immediate problem. And I will see you next time as we continue our Encore adventure together. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Take care, everyone.